LA Knight BFT's Jey Uso. What's up, JW? Today we have the WWE Weekly Set review of Monday Night Raw. So we did miss last week's Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Last week was a very busy week for me. And also the Monday Night Raw I did not watch because I was watching the Chicago Bears sadly lose to the Vikings. Don't even get me started on that. Enough with football. We're into wrestling. So we're going to get into this Monday Night Raw because, of course, we are not missing this Monday Night Raw. John Cena was on it and he started the show. John Cena comes out to pretty much a home crowd. He is from Massachusetts, but he's from like the more Boston area. But they're in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is actually where he went to college to play football. He had the number 54, which that was his number in college. I never knew that. That makes sense. Why not? Like in his early days, he wore a lot of jerseys with number 54. I never understood why he wore 54. I always thought it was maybe for like popular players like Brian Urlacher from the Bears. But no, it's actually because he wore 54 in college. I did not know that, so it was kind of cool. He talked about his football career in Massachusetts, in Springfield, Massachusetts, and how it prepared him for WWE for big challenges like Brock Lesnar. And he talks about how Brock Lesnar is controversial. He is intimidating and everything. But John Cena said the easiest thing would be to not accept the challenge and not face Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza, because that is against him, against his thing of never giving up and the hustle and loyalty, respect. So John Cena is accepting, and he will be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza for one last time, because John Cena is the last real champion. It's going to be the Beast versus the GOAT. The Beast versus the last real champion. And the crowd was going absolutely insane for John Cena, because obviously it's John Cena. This is one of his last appearances, which is crazy. There's only 6 left after this. It's so sad. We got WrestlePalooza this weekend, and then there's nothing until a Crown Jewel in Australia, which is be like the second weekend of October, which is crazy to think. There's nothing after this Saturday until the second week of October. Then we had Roxanne Perez and Lila Valkyria go one-on-one. Raquel Rodriguez tried getting involved, almost getting Roxanne Perez the victory, but Lila Valkyria ended up picking up the victory over Roxanne Perez. And then, of course, afterwards, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez jumped her. They're starting beating on her. When Bayley's music hits, we haven't seen Bayley in person in a long time. We've seen package videos of her, like she's like kind of going crazy, like with different like personalities. She comes out, takes everybody out. She's super energetic. She starts hugging all the commentators. She's hugging the ring announcer, the fans. So it's like the hugger Bayley's back. It was weird. And then she left. And then later backstage, Lila Valkyria goes to talk to Bayley, and she hears Bayley screaming to somebody, like talking to multiple people. And she opens the door. It's just Bayley. So clearly Bayley's going crazy. I literally could care less about this storyline. I like the hugging thing. I'm so glad they got rid of the hugging thing. How many years ago? Because that stuff was so cringe. But overall, the Bayley storyline, in my opinion, is very boring. Then Penta, another thing is boring. I feel like they're wasting Penta. Why are they having Penta now feud with the Judgment? Not the Judgment Day, the New Day. It's literally every week he's either facing Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, or Grayson Waller. Like, Penta deserves way more than the freaking boring ass, washed up heel New Day and Grayson Waller. Well, obviously Penta picks up the victory. Xavier Woods tries to distract him while Grayson Waller went for the attack, but hits a super kick on Grayson Waller and hits a Canadian or a Mexican destroyer on Kofi Kingston to pick up the victory. And then the New Day, I think, did they jump? No, later in the show, backstage, they jump Penta backstage, laying him out. So obviously, continuing the storyline, which is very boring. Talk about a boring. There is 3 El Grande Americanos now. It was Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano. The original one, which technically isn't the original one. It's now Ludwig Kaiser. Used to be Chad Gable. But Ludwig Kaiser's been doing great as the El Grande Americano. It's actually, he made the character somewhat entertaining, which the character really isn't much entertaining. And there's been this random second one, which he comes out, tries to get involved, and AJ Styles comes out, which, oh my god, they are wasting my GOAT. One of my favorite wrestlers. Freaking, my GOAT is John Cena and Cody Rhodes, but I say that all three of them, Cody, John Cena, AJ Styles, are all my favorite. They're just wasting AJ Styles' last couple of years of his career. I know his contract comes up in February. Hopefully he leaves and he can go put on some banger matches and retire in AEW, because clearly Triple H does not realize how talented and an amazing wrestler AJ Styles is, because he's wasting him the past couple months on freaking El Grande Americano, the 3 of them, because AJ Styles takes out the second one, and then a third one shows up and takes out AJ Styles and costs Dragon Lee the match, and El Grande Americano pick up the victory, and all 3 of them are staying tall, which I think it's Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, which are 2 other really talented wrestlers, and now they have to be goofy characters as El Grande Americanos. This is so dumb. I don't understand. I honestly think Triple H thinks this is a great idea and this is such a big character, and it's not. It's so boring and dumb, and they're really, really wasting AJ Styles. Then Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch came out. Seth Rollins does this big introduction for himself and Becky Lynch, and then AJ Lee's music hits. AJ Lee and CM Punk come out together to her music, and CM Punk actually brings it up. He goes, "We actually don't have an ego, and we can agree as a couple that we can just come out to one song. I'm gladly to put over my wife to have come out to her music and put cult personality to the side." And they kind of go back and forth about who if Becky Lynch pretty much tells AJ Lee if she's capable of being back in the ring with her neck and everything, and then AJ Lee agrees with her. And then I wasn't paying attention. Seth Rollins said something to AJ Lee, and she slapped the shit out of him. And then Seth Rollins said the same thing as that CM Punk said in Chicago when AJ Lee returned. He goes, "Oh, I'll never hit a lady, but," he goes, "at least I have somebody that will." And then Becky Lynch looks confused and gets in Seth Rollins' face and argues with him, and then she storms off and blaming Seth Rollins, and then pretty much CM Punk and AJ Lee are just laughing, and CM Punk gets in the face of Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch comes from behind, hits the manhandle slam on AJ Lee, and she takes off, and then CM Punk goes after Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins takes off, while Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins stand tall. CM Punk is aiding his wife, AJ Lee, who had been just taken out by Becky Lynch. It was just pretty much a giant promo battle setting up their match this Saturday at WrestlePalooza, the mixed tag match, which I don't know where they're going to go after this match. I'm assuming Seth Rollins eventually defends the world title against CM Punk, and then Becky Lynch defends the women's Intercontinental title against AJ Lee, I'm assuming, because I feel like this tag match is not ending this feud with them. Then Stephanie Maguire versus Kairi Sane they went one-on-one. Asuka is what got in her face backstage, and this set up this match. This whole thing with Asuka and like acting tough and the yelling constantly, and I guess screaming, yelling, and then partly in Japanese. It's like this, I don't know what they're building with Asuka. It's so boring and unentertaining to watch. I'm like, oh my god. Like the bickering between the three of Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Asuka is so boring. Like I could care less about this storyline. Honestly, I feel bad for the World Heavyweight Championship and Stephanie Maguire because she kind of got screwed. She was supposed to fight Naomi, and ever since Naomi having vacated the title, now this match keeps on getting delayed. Now it's at WrestlePalooza. Like last week, they were supposed to get contract signing between Io Sky and Stephanie Maguire, and it got canceled. Like it's a disaster. And this Asuka Kairi thing is boring. Rhea Ripley's randomly shoved into the storyline. It's just this whole thing is a shit show in my opinion. They can't decide where they're going with, but Stephanie Maguire picks up the victory over Kairi Sane. Then Asuka gets in her face. Io Sky comes out, stops Asuka, and then Io Sky and Stephanie Maguire go face to face. Setting up their matches for Saturday. I don't know what they're doing with this. I'm assuming Stephanie Maguire picks up the victory, and then Io Sky goes on to fight Asuka, and then Rhea Ripley fights Stephanie Maguire because backstage Rhea Ripley tells Stephanie Maguire, if you win, or whoever wins, I'm coming for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. So I don't know where they're going with this. All I know is I feel bad for Stephanie Maguire because I feel like she's getting screwed. And the title, honestly, I feel like is getting forgotten about. And this whole storyline with the Io Sky, pretty much the former Damage Control, is boring. Then it was main event time. Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed took on LA Knight and Jimmy Uso because LA Knight had to pick a tag partner, and he picked Jimmy Uso to piss off Jey Uso because obviously last week Jey Uso speared LA Knight for no reason, and then beginning of the show they were all beefing and everything. But Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker end up picking up the victory over Jimmy Uso and LA Knight, and they start jumping them. They're hitting tsunamis, and Jey Uso comes out with a steel chair, taking out Braun Breaker, and then takes out Bronson Reed, and he goes to help up his brother Jimmy Uso. And LA Knight comes with the steel chair, but he puts it down. Him and Jey Uso go face to face. They shake hands. They do a little hug, and then Jey Uso turns around to help up his brother Jimmy Uso, and LA Knight grabs him and hits a BFT and stands tall over Jey Uso. So I don't know where they're going to go with this after this tag match with the Usos and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed at WrestlePalooza. Is it they're going to continue to be a tag team, or are they going to set up a one-on-one match with LA Knight and Jey Uso at Crown Jewel? I don't know. There's so many storylines going on right now with the Vision and LA Knight and the Usos. It's just it's so hard to keep track because, like, obviously Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are dealing with CM Punk and AJ Lee, and then you got Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker taking on the Usos, but then you also got LA Knight taking on Jey Uso because they're beefing. It's all over the place. It's hard to keep track of. And honestly, with having Monday Night Raw and pretty much the same thing every single week, either the Vision standing tall or Jey Uso coming out for the save and standing tall, or LA Knight coming out and standing tall, like, just give LA Knight the world title. Honestly, in my opinion, I would love to see LA Knight win the world title eventually. But it's the same thing, and it's over and over and over, and it's boring. Honestly, best part of the show was John Cena. This is the beginning of the show, and then it was all downhill from there. The AJ Lee, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch thing was okay. 3 El Grande Americanos is stupid. I feel like they're wasting Penta. The main event wasn't terrible. It's just I feel like I don't know where they're gonna go with this, because if they have LA Knight versus Jey Uso win, who wins? I would have LA Knight win, and then have the Usos stay as a tag team, which I've been saying this forever, that they need to go back to be a tag team and never have Jey Uso as a singles wrestler ever again. The Bayley thing is very boring. I feel bad for, once again, Stephanie Meyer and the women's world title, because it's just getting forgotten about in this whole thing. But overall, Monday Night Raw, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of... Actually, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 because the main event wasn't bad. John Cena was great. It's because it's John Cena. Then the setup for this mixed tag match at WrestlePalooza is not bad either. I just was like... The thing really annoyed me is the 3 El Grande Americanos. We do not need 3 El Grande Americanos. But this is JRW. Make sure to like, subscribe, stay tuned for WrestleFigure content, because this week, either Wednesday or Thursday, will be my prediction video for WrestlePalooza. And then Sunday will be the setup review of WrestlePalooza. And I'll see you guys in the next one.